When we were young, I was Brendan's invincible hero, always coming to his rescue. I was used to the sound of Bren cycling up behind me and, let's see.
Here. Is something wrong? Yeah, there's a couple of guys up there that start trouble. Right, I'll sort them out.
But this time he'd gone too far. As we rounded the trees, I saw not one, not two, but three guys waiting for us.
Is there a problem?
No problem.
As we beat a hasty retreat, the smallest of the kids kept throwing stones and shouting abuse. I turned to Bren and I said, that's it. No more big brother to the rescue.
That's it, Brent. That's the last time. Never again.
My name is Kieran Burke. I'm a painter, a writer, an actor. I was born and raised in Artane, a suburb of Dublin, but I moved to Belfast about 15 years ago. When I'm not painting or writing, I perform as a piano man, and I'm the lead singer with a theatrical rock band called The Strangels. I'm on my way to Beaumont Hospital to have a final checkup before I donate a kidney to my brother, Brendan. He's 47. And I'm the perfect match.
My name is Brendan Burke. I'm a filmmaker, a lecturer, and a photographer. I live in Dublin with my partner, Liz.
I've had Crohn's disease now for a long time, and I think it was around 2001, my kidneys started to give trouble because I had got amyloidosis as a result of the Crohn's disease. Then 2.5 years ago, the kidneys failed, and I've been on dialysis ever since. So maybe today, this could be my last treatment.
I come in here 3 days a week for dialysis, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. It's a 4-hour session. And that's the machine that does all the work that keeps me alive. Blood comes out of my arm through this lead here, goes around through the pump and through this. That's actually the filter that does most of the work. There's other things happening there. And then it comes back around and literally straight back into me through here. One of the things I knew when I started this was that I had to make use of the time. I've written 2 scripts while I've been here, one of which I went on to make.
Do you know the injured party?
No, I've never seen him before in my life.
What happened to you? What's your name?
What happened?
What's your name?
What do I know?
Are you associated with this man?
No, I just made
It was a great achievement anyway, but I was kind of, to do it on dialysis was even more of an achievement. I'd say it was around December 2007 I was eventually officially put on the transplant list. Around that time, living donor transplants weren't happening often in Ireland. And Kieran very much, I remember him asking a few questions just as to what would, is it possible? How do you go about doing it? And I suppose that just kind of planted the seed.
In the early morning before the noise begins, I hear my heart, I feel my pain, I let the dream day in. I feel my body searching for something I still haven't found. A kind of grace, a kind of faith, I'd known if it had a sound.
When I decided to give Brendan the kidney, what I said was if I'm a match and I have a good kidney, 2 good kidneys, you can have one of them.
I couldn't believe, it was absolutely marvelous.
We didn't hug, we were very matter of fact, 2 strong men.
Wow. I was quite proud, actually.
Brendan mentioned that he was proud. I suppose an element of it was that after all those years of the wilderness from being the hero who had feet of clay, I wanted him to be proud. This is Brookwood Road, where I grew up and frequently still visit. But today is an important visit because I'm going to break the news to my parents that I'm a match. that my kidney's a match for Brendan's. An old pal of mine.
How's Brendan? When did you get the operation?
Well, he's in luck because my kidney is a match. They're going to take one out of me. The left one. I wanted them to take the right, but they're taking the left. And going to put it into him. Apparently they're going to put it in here.
Oh, God. We'll have to call all the saints in heaven. Carol.
Well, I've got a bit of news.
Bit of news.
I've decided to give Bran one of my kidneys. I've been going through the tests, and the kidney is a match for Bran. It's more or less sounded off by the doc, and I think there's one or two scans to be done, but 99%. This kidney will match Brendan.
Have you told Fleur?
No, I haven't.
You'll have to let her know quickly.
That's what I'm going to go home now and tell her.
What about PJ?
I'm going to have to tell him, given the excellent statistics for survival that the hospital have assured me of, and basically I'll play it down.
Kieran, I don't know, this is one, it's great, but it's,
Sure, it's easy.
It'll be great.
And what to say? Two great lads.
2 boys and 2 kidneys. That's it.
Well, two great sons.
2 great. One each.
One each.
Fleur's got class and a beautiful ass and a quality that makes me hold on fast to all.
Fleur is my long-time beautiful partner, now fiancée. I came back to her and told her I'm going to have some blood tests today in Dunluce in Belfast in my own health centre to see what blood type I am. Because if I'm a match, I might be able to give Brendan a kidney. And she sort of looked at me, she said, well, when did you discuss this? It was very remiss of me not to discuss it with her. Eventually it became clear after a few visits to Beaumont that I was going to be a match. Everything was going positively. She said, I don't want you to proceed. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to lose you. PJ, my son, knew Brendan was ill. I kept him in the loop about the various bulletins, dialysis. I spoke to my sister last night, and she said to PJ, how is your dad doing with the kidney business? And he said he's been very stoical about it. So, how do you feel about this whole thing?
Well, I have mixed feelings about it because, first of all, you're in a dangerous position. Something might get wrong, but also I'm happy for Brendan because now he's going to get cured.
Have you found it unnatural that the family have been really haven't discussed it? We haven't discussed it.
Well, I'm very worried, and no one seems to be able to speak about it, kind of, because there's also a lot of tension in the family.
Do you think you'd do it for me?
I might now, but I have to think about it. I probably would though to you though.
They hurt. The wig will fall off.
The night I came home to tell Liz that Kieran had offered me his kidney was, in a way for me, it was a bit of an anticlimax.
It was kind of, low-key. He just came in the door. I was sitting here watching TV. He came in from his parents' house and said, Kieran's given me his kidney.
I think what happens is, we know it's still time involved. We know that a lot of tests have to be done. So we knew this was a solution, but not an immediate solution.
I think, at the back of my mind, I was thinking, Asher, it might never be needed. I thought, hopefully, the transplant list would come through first, and that Kieran wouldn't have to go ahead with it all. Didn't relish the phone call in the night saying, Bren, you've got a kidney from the list, because, I'm always aware that there's a donor family. It's probably some kid about the same age as my son, Tim, has been killed in an accident somewhere, and his family are having to make this decision.
I think Liz has explained. I feel the same as Liz about being called off the list. It will only happen when someone else has suffered a tragedy, and that's a difficult. That will always be something that will play on you.
I suppose it'll give our relationship a bit more freedom in that we'll be more free to travel and take breaks away, or just it's more than holidays and things are great, but they're luxuries. It's the day-to-day living that I think we'll notice the bigger differences.
Brendan's been sick since he was 25, since 25 they diagnosed him with Crohn's, so that's always been part of our lives. We've been aware of it, and Kieran's been the strong one.
Kieran hopes for the best with everything. Brendan has to have everything perfect at all times.
And it did lead to tensions when we were kids, I do remember a few little fights and tiffs.
My friend Colin McCann, the Irish novelist, and I have a ritual pint in the Stag's Head whenever Colin publishes a new book or when I make a new film. Unfortunately, with the operation getting so close, I can't have a pint this time, but I'll settle for a signed book and a promise of that pint when I get my new kidney.
Let the great world spin forever down the ringing grooves of change.
Colin was involved in my first film. In fact, he gave me the gift of his story, Fishing the Slow Black River.
Kidney donor. It's a bit serious. For certain people, I'll play the role because there are too many people out there to explain the inner feelings of a kidney donor. So, till the morning of the operation, I'm simply an actor playing the part of a chap who's going to donate his kidney.
There's a candle in the window at number 29. I think they're expecting.
Once I told the band, the news was all over Belfast. Might as well have taken out an ad in the newspaper. They took it in various ways. One of them, I won't say which one, we were having a photographic session and they were doing some close-ups of me. And he said, make it good. He said it'll do for his memorial card if he doesn't wake up after this operation.
Attack is on the wall.
He said to me afterwards, how did you feel when I said that? I said, well, how would you feel in that situation? Don't worry about what I feel. But he was too weak a guy. I think he'd shocked himself. Maybe I should have absolved him, but I'm getting fed up absolving people.
You meet a lot of interesting people in this coming and going into hospital. Some less optimistic than others. One day I met a very pessimistic taxi man, and he says to me, are you on the list? Transplant list, he meant. And I said, oh yeah. He said, I'm on it. I said, I've just been on it a few months. And he said, so how long do you expect? I said, it's hard to know. I said, probably 2.5 years, 2-3 years, I don't know. He said, and then when you get it, how long do you expect? I said, what do you mean, how long might it last? And he said, yeah. I said, I presume. I said, I'd hope to get a good few years out of it. He said, 2 or 3 years, 5 years? And I said, I don't know, whatever. I'll do my best. And he said, James, he said, I know a fellow who only got a week. So that cheered me up.
I only had one small triumph. A lady in the blood pressure department admitted me. I looked a little disheveled, scarf, overcoat, hat. I'd just come up on the train. And she said, are you still smoking? And I said, no, gave up smoking years ago. And she said, well, you're drinking.
And I said, yeah, a glass of wine or two here. And she said, well, you need a kidney anyway. And I said to her, no, I'm giving a kidney.
When I walked into the room, what did I see? You were all I see.
Because I have such a vivid imagination, I'm scared. I went through a period in April, about last April, of looking down at myself. People going, my God, nobody ever dies from that. I began to see myself as a coward. People would say, oh, you're very brave. You want to look at them in the eye and say, I'm beginning to think that a really courageous person would say, no way, are you mad? Cut myself open, kid me out.
Everywhere I look, everywhere I turn, everything I do, you seem to be there.
Part of the process in my head of would I do it myself if the tables were turned. Also, it made me think, if I was doing it, how would I feel? And I guess it would be a mixture of bravado and scared shitless. I can't get inside Kieran's head where he is. You know, you decide life is good, having a great time. I think now I'll put myself through pain. That really makes me agitated.
It's deeply emotional. I try not to think about it as much as possible.
This is better than all the dreams. All the dream, I never dreamt, but I had an impression of myself 15 years ago that was turned out to be a much lesser possibility than what I have now. They give you get-out clauses. They say to you, they'll make up anything that I want, so that I can go to Brendan and say, oh my God, you won't believe it, man. There's 15 blood vessels around my right kidney. I'm exaggerating. But what I'm saying is that I've wanted so many times a night like this, I'd look at it and I'd go, imagine if there were going to be, if these are numbered. And I think it's so selfish because I want to get back to how things were and continue creating, painting, making music. We're doing an exhibition tomorrow night. This is my work at this end, yes, on Florida. Yes, the
ocean. The sun was shining on your face. I watched you sail from out of sight, from a ship. Sailing far away.
My brother has arrived. He said to me, I'm leaving Dublin at 4. I'll see you about 6.
I'm an optimist.
I'm now officially an inmate of Beaumont Hospital, St. Damian's Ward.
I've also got the inmate badge. We have barcodes.
Strangely, I feel very calm. And they haven't given me the calm drug yet. So by the time they give me that, I think I'll be maybe the calmest I've ever been in my whole life.
Anyway, here we are tonight. We've had it's taken a long time to get here. 2.5 years of dialysis for me, a year of all sorts of tests and proddings and soul searching and body searching for Carol.
My attitude is if I wake up, check that it's still the earth, where I now believe heaven actually exists, now that I've looked at it with a view to having an incision made in my body. So if I wake up back on this earthly heaven, I don't mind about the pain.
My dream is to die healthy in old age with this kidney working inside me.
I often suspected myself of being a chicken, and I'm not a chicken.
I've never thought that Kieran was a chicken. I think even probably sometimes when he was a little bit afraid of something, I didn't realise. Just so happens there's a mirror in the room. So there we are. Look at that. A shadow of our former selves.
In the words of Kidney Carton, it is a far, far better thing I do now than I have ever done. It's a far, far better place I go than I have ever known. The end, a tale of two kidneys.
Very nice.
Good night. I hope Mom and Dad are okay.
They're here.
It's all good. Emotional tonight. I'm not unhappy at all. Not even a little unhappy. I've always been a little unhappy. But tonight.
Don't know what time it is, but I haven't been able to sleep much tonight, so strange that I feel sleepy, I feel exhausted, and I just can't manage to get my eyes to close. I'll go back to bed, try and get a bit of sleep. Everything kicks off in an hour and a half, I'd say.
Actually enjoying this time alone almost, to just gather my thoughts. Some things are coming clear in my head. I'm not able to vocalize them at the moment, but I think I'm just beginning to. I'm just ready. I'm ready to go.
$7:35. Had a good sleep. Apart from the fact that my drip came undone. Had a very wet dream. Bran has just been in. And he's way upbeat. Everyone has sent text messages I spent most of last night delivering text messages. People are very kind. Life isn't quite fair. But if we get through this, I'll say fair enough.
On a winter's morning, I saw you.
I remember asking if Kieran was okay, and I was so incoherent that nobody knew what I was saying, but I presume they guessed, and someone said, "Your brother's fine and out of surgery.
Apparently my first words were either Dolly or Molly. Molly was the surgeon, brilliant surgeon who removed the kidney, and Dolly is our border terrier at home. I imagine it was Molly, but nobody quite understood what I was saying. I then checked, was Brendan awake? Turned out he was, and he was pissing for the first time in 2.5 years. But here we are, 1 week later.
So now that we've got this far, the next thing we want to do is keep her packed for me to buy Kieran a pint in the Stag's Head.
I think he feels
Very
more
important.
up to the pint than I do at the moment.
In the blink of an eye, all on a winter's morning.
Hi there, how are you?
How's it going?
2 pints of stout, please.
I hear my kidney had a good time in Cork.
I gave it a very good trip.
Just is about to be screened this morning at the Cork Film Festival at 11 o'clock. I made this film when I was on dialysis, which was something I really wanted to do. I was determined to keep working, keep being productive. So I'm delighted to say that 2 days after I came out of hospital after the transplant, I got an email from Cork to say that I'd been accepted for a film festival. So it really has put a nice little bookend to the whole experience.
Mommy, the man has a princess too.
What man?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Are you mad? Did you bring him?
Will you let me explain? Okay, the guy was robbed. He doesn't speak English.
Rosie, are you okay?
Yeah.
Gracie, don't be like this in front of him. I invited him here.
He doesn't speak English, so how did you invite him round to frighten your daughter?
I'm not frightened.
Yeah, well listen, he's gonna have to leave. Get rid of him. And while you're at it, why don't you go out and earn some money to look after your family?
I heard you had a bit of artistic inspiration as well.
I had a recurring dream. When I was waking up, and I had tears in my eyes, and I'd been saying, I did it. But what had I done? I don't know. But the other morning, I woke up, same thing, but headed for the piano, sat down, wrote the first song, which is the first song in the musical that I've been planning. So the premonition was true. I did it.
So, you didn't believe me, but here we are, 6 weeks to the day.
Well, here's to you, brother.
I wouldn't be doing this without you.
My pleasure.
If I keep holding on to your love, days roll by, seem to fly. Someday time will run out, someday we'll die. But right now, right here, right here now, I know that I'm saved by